Number 7, it restrains or restricts evil. Number 8, it refreshes with hope and love. Number 9, it regenerates. It causes to regrow or to create again. Thank you. Number 10, it's a teacher and a counselor. Number 11, it produces power. Those are the benefits that we talked about of having the Holy Spirit. Another message was titled Between Here and There. Between here and there. Jesus says, let us go over to the other side. A circumstance came, which was a storm. Wow. Prior to this trip, it says they had witnessed and encountered his preaching. They saw evil spirits be cast out, infirmities be healed, provision being made. They saw sight come to the blind. They saw a widow's son be raised. The centurion's servant was healed. He healed the paralytic. Peter's mother-in-law was healed of her high fever. The great catch of fish. All this took place before he said, let us go to the other side. But as soon as they started going to the other side, storm came and they panicked. Before God ever takes you through anything difficult, he will be done showed or demonstrated his power to you so you can know he's able. That's what I got wrote down. I receive it, God. Did another message called I Am Blessed, which says you can't curse what God has blessed. If you are going to win, you must have a different view of things. Isaiah 55:8. View means the ability to see a particular way. Second definition, a particular way of considering something or an attitude. Win means to be successful or victorious, acquire a result of a context. Different means it's not the same, it's distinct. So if you're going to win, you must have a different view of things. Wow. Did another message titled, You Better Know Who You Are. There is an answer to your problem. Leprosy was a contagious disease that affected the skin, the mucous membranes, and nerves, which caused a discoloration or lumps on the skin. In severe cases, it caused disfiguring and deformities. So this came out of 2 Kings chapter 5. It had to be in reference to the guys that had the leprosy. You better know who you are. In another message called You Have a Purpose Trim, coming out of Zechariah chapter 4, verse 10. Did another message titled Be Careful That You Are Not Deceived in This Season. Coming out of 1 Kings chapter 13. That's where that old prophet got that young prophet. That's where I visited Brisha's church. I found some prayer requests. I did a live one night and I took prayer requests. I wrote down these prayer requests. I read through the prayer requests today. I saw some of them done come to pass too, in a great way. Let me see if I can find where any of y'all that's in here that said. I do remember seeing pretty text. Let me find it. Yoda said, ask for prayer for calling, family, marriage, and finances. And ask for prayer for finances, unity, and marriage, wisdom to deal with her kids. Daniel said, pray for that he would love his wife as he should, to forgive himself and see the good, to forgive himself and see the good in her. We also prayed about Trim finances, Trim's attendance, Trim impact in this area, for mindsets to shift to victory, for us to have a willingness to change, for order, deliverance, and connections. We asked for some video equipment, prayed about new signs. This is a business meeting. This is my personal, where I asked y'all to give your personal, what you wanted God to do. Did another message titled The Power of Grace. Signs of grace walking within our lives. 1 was a high regard or a reverence for God. Humility, number 2, is displayed. Number 3, there is a brokenness. This is when the power of grace is in operation. Grace is the strength of God and unmeasured or undeserved action towards another. It is the expressed love of the giver, but the humility of the recipient. The word grace is used over 170 times in the New Testament. True humility is not thinking less of yourself. It is thinking of yourself less. C.S. Lewis wrote that. The only humility that is really ours is not what we show to God in prayer, but that which we show in our daily walk among others. Andrew Murray said that. Did another message where I explained about the duty of the pastor, the shepherd. Used Jeremiah chapter 3, 14 through 17. Said the pastor's position was to reprove or to correct, to rebuke. Reprove means to correct. To rebuke means to instruct or to expose. Exhort means to strongly encourage. To be long-suffering means exactly what it is to suffer long. To destroy fables or fictitious tales, so any lies. The pastor prescribes the remedy for the sheep. Did another message called revenge. A natural response to pain or to hurt is to retaliate, to curse, or to resent. That's a natural response. Spiritual response to pain is one word: pray. To avenge means to punish a wrongdoing with the intent of seeing justice done. Retribution, suffering in order to restore a moral balance. Now, revenge means to avenge again, but more on a personal level. Less concerned about justice, but more about retaliating for self-satisfaction. So, calm makes sense. Okay. Did another message called Follow the Leader, Not Turn on the Leader. Coming out of Exodus 14. The consequences of being disobedient. Bluntly disobedient to God's command, which is pride and arrogance. See, Moses took credit for the miracle. Showed the people following him how to disobey, had blood guiltness on his hand. He defied the power of the miracle. The miracle would signify Christ as our rock. So Christ couldn't be displayed like he should have been because of Moses' disobedience. Speaking to the rock was a form of prayer. But his disobedience caused him to smite the rock. What is this one? All right, that's sort of end of the year thing. There are things we said we would do for the year. Got those wrote down. All right, here's another message called Looking Beyond What We See. Vision. Ask the question, how many of you live in the garden? Genesis chapter 3, 22 through 24 was what I used, evidently. I use the word alien, which means a foreigner, not a naturalized citizen of a country, but is alienated, which produces a trickster or a deceiver, differing in nature or character, typically to the point of incompatibility. Alienated is to be detached, estranged, difference between. But in order for access to be granted back, death had to occur. A citizen is a legal recognized subject, one who is entitled. Benefits of being a citizen is entitlement, a sense of belonging, and a connection to the king. Disadvantage of aliens: they have no entitlement, no sense of belonging, and no connection to the king. Rock, another message from 2 Samuel chapter 22 and verse 2. I don't see a title, but I got rock wrote here, which is a metaphor that refers to someone or something that is extremely strong. Another message title: are you just looking, or do you see? Look is to have the appearance or give the impression of. I use an example in parentheses, say, he looked happy. Things you look at, you are able to pass them on by, but things that you see, you will make a difference in. See is to perceive, to discern, or to understand. Nehemiah saw restoration and took action. Another message, just a reminder of who you are. Esther finds favor, gets approval, and changes things for her people. Number one, she had no rights to be there, but someone else mishap lands her in the right where she needed to be. Number two, she didn't even have parents, but she had someone that believed she could, and she did. Number three, she humbled herself through the process. Number four, she followed the instructions of those grooming her. Number five, she was willing to face death in the face unapologetically. Another message titled, Who is God? Remaining persistent. Went into a series looked like called It's Payback Time. You shall recover all. That's when we picked up the payback messages. Looks like I wrote them in here, some of them, because not all of them are in here. Payback time number 5 was called Follow Instructions. Now that we are at a place to hear and we believe, we can now transition to the instructions. Hear is to be informed of, to know the existence of. Believe is to know to be true. Instructions is a direction or order, detailed information telling how something should be done. It says instructions, I got this wrote down here. Instructions could be to forgive, pay back, confess, or return. Payback number 6, you're about to be head of your class. Hear, believe, instructions, manifestation. This one was about manifestation. Number 5 was about the instructions. So I remember now, God gave me hear, believe, instructions. Yeah. So number 6 was about you're about to be head of your class, which talks about manifestation. Men shall see it, including your enemies. We dealt with rejection in that one. Payback number 7 is you are about to find what you lost. Lost is once was something that was unintentionally gone or missing. Second definition means an unknown, referring to a mental status. This is stuff, y'all, that God has talked to us about. We went all the way up. I got payback number 9 right here. Payback number 9 is called Let's Birth This Thing Out. The turning point. Birth is the start of life when that which has been happening under begins to be shown outward. Wow.